This is the Realtors Playbook. I'm with Debbie Lucci from William Ravis in Andover, and I'm Matt Witte. We run our separate teams in the Andover office. And Debbie, what's today's exciting topic today?
So we're going to talk about what you should be doing right now for your business if you're a realtor. And I know it's difficult, and it took me a long time to learn this, but there's a lot of things that you should be doing. You have to start building that funnel right now, because if you don't, you're going to blink. The spring market's going to be over. And, I know, Matt, I was telling you a story when this was many, many years ago, but I remember in the spring market getting one check.
Mhm.
It was I think it was March 11th, and I got one check, and that's all I get paid the entire quarter because I didn't know enough to start building up my pipeline now. You should have actually been doing it before the holidays started. But so, what do you think, Matt, that they should be doing?
Yeah, so some things like I know we talk about as a team, should we all be sending gifts in December, for the holiday season to past clients? I tend to do that in January. So what I do every January is I'll send out a gift to each client with a personalized card so that everybody gets something in January. So they know it's like a main focus is going to be, our team and our business where they're not so distracted. So if you tend to send gifts out, I would not send them in December. I know that might be too late at this point, but consider sending something in January or starting to do drop-offs in January.
I think that's a great idea because you can really, there's so much stuff going on in December. Your gift can kind of get missed, and January is a nice time. Things have kind of settled down a little bit. But I mean, I think so you're talking about working your sphere. I think that's a great,
Definitely.
right.
Right.
Um, what are some other good funnels that you find that work for you regarding prospecting, things like that? I think now there's one that I didn't use many years ago because it really wasn't out there so much, so prevalent, is social media. So for example, somebody maybe their pet passes away, unfortunately, you send them a card. Some people, somebody has a baby, somebody's passed, somebody, there's new things going on in their life that, all you have to do is just take a short amount of time every morning and just like write a little card or, a comment on social media, stuff like that. So it's sort of like just going on social media and finding what's going on in the area with people you know.
Yeah, that's a really good point because that's a good use of social media, and that is in a form of prospecting too, right? Because you're looking at
Mhm.
life events
Yeah.
in a genuine way, and you're sending out targeted either notes or gifts. So it's not thousands and thousands of mailers where people feel like I'm farming for something that's 2 years away.
Right. And I always try to think when I first started in business and I had absolutely no money, in the hole, and what could I do to start, getting my business up off the ground without spending a fortune. And that was one of the things that I would go after, just my sphere of influence that I knew. And then also what I would do is I would offer people if they bought a house with me, so much money back for closing or something like that. So if the transaction took place, I had the money to spend on something like that. So I would advertise something like that. That's when you used to advertise in the Andover Townsman.
Oh yes, yes,
Right.
and the old newspaper.
Right. So especially this time of year, this is the best time of year to go after expired listings.
Yeah, and what is an expired listing, just in case maybe a listener doesn't know what that means?
So it's a listing that didn't sell on the market and it's either canceled. You cannot go after withdrawn listings, that those listings are still with the agent and they're still under contract with that listing agent. But can't if the contract is canceled or expired, which means it didn't sell and it just expired as contract, you can, as an agent, go after those. Now, the biggest day of expired listings is December 31st. So they're all over the place right now. And the second biggest day is December 30th. So there's a lot of listings right now. And, I noticed when I was looking at the inventory just for the last few weeks, almost every house had quite a few days on market. Did you notice that? You
I
know,
did, yeah, yeah. There seems to be some properties that are definitely just I don't want to say they're rotting on the market, but they've been on a lot longer than what we've seen at least a few years past. That's for sure.
right, definitely. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had to bring out the price change form and stuff like that, which you would never have to do. So yeah, that's a great market right now to go after. At those people are like, really just raising the flag out there. They want to sell, but for some reason, and it's usually when we talk about this all the time, price, condition, marketing. One of
Mhm.
those three reasons, or a combination of both, that they didn't sell. So that's a great market as a realtor to go after right now.
Yeah, and it's a free resource, right? I mean, we already pay for the MLS, so it's not like you're paying for leads or, people might say, I don't have money for gifts and I can't send mass mailings and things like that. So it's good to be able to have a source that actually doesn't cost anything. It's really just the effort and determination of wanting to get it done.
Right. And the thing is about it, it may take many phone calls.
It's not one phone call.
It's not one phone call.
On average, I think it's 7 to 10 phone calls before you could actually get a person live on the phone.
Well, I
Talking
know.
about like a colder lead.
Right, exactly. And I know when one of my big pieces of business when I first started was for sale by owners. And I think the for sale by owners now are having a tougher time than they were previously. Even probably previously they were leaving a lot of money on the table, but now they're having a harder time selling a little bit. So it typically takes about 8 touches for a for sale by owner in order for them to, say, okay, I'm ready to list my house now. So that's a good business too. Now, the other one that's kind of unfortunate because of the circumstances with COVID is probably divorces. Divorces, I think, are up. So a divorce attorney could be a good, and I feel bad about that. But if you can help some people, you know, get out of their situation and do well financially and and help them. And I know there's a lot of hurdles they have to go through. Sometimes people have a hard time moving forward because it's so painful for them. And if you can kind of take some of that burden off of them, that's a good source right now really too, is divorce attorneys and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think a lot of people think about that.
Yeah.
It's making that good connection with some sort of attorney. So, like you said, so you can actually help these people move on with the next step in their journey.
Right. And because they probably will need a lot of things. They'll probably need, I mean, like, I got divorced a long time ago. So you really weren't in the best headspace to, get up, kind of get up off the couch and get moving and get the house clean and get all these things done. So it takes a little bit of skill to, help these people get to the next place. And then they have to buy a place. So a lot of times, so in the house they may be coming from might be this really pretty nice house. And now it's cut in half the size. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, there's a lot to those situations, and there seems to be a lot more of them, like you mentioned. It's a pretty high rate right now.
it is. And then the other the group is people that are probably in their 50s, 60s. That's always a good group to go after because it's a great. Just think about it, all the equity they have in their home, and the kids probably have left the house by this time, or maybe they need help with college and things like that. And that house is a great equity source, and it's a great time to sell right now. So. That's another good source, kind of looking and seeing, okay, how long have people been in their house? If they've been in the house a long time, what's their square footage, things like that, narrowing things like that down. Because I think we have discussed it. I was on the airplane the other day, and this woman I bumped into, believe it or not, we were coming back from Charleston, and she was from Andover. And, she looked at me when I told her I was a realtor, and I think she expected me to like come after her. And I was like, no, it's okay. And she said, I've been in my house for 60 some odd years. And I said to her, okay. I said, I'm just going to give you a piece of advice. I said, don't wait too long. I said, get the house ready like you're going to sell it, even if you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we've seen that people wait too long. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so she's going to stay in her house, and but I think that's a great age group to go after right now, because if people want to start traveling and going out to restaurants instead of repairing the house, that's another great avenue to go after. And then, favorite neighborhoods. If you kind of look at the multiple listing service, and then you say, okay, this neighborhood seems to turn over quite a bit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
kind of going after those neighborhoods, things like that. But you can get different services like Ben Verified, things like that. You can find out all kinds of information
Right.
um,
We're
on
not
these.
short on getting information, that's for sure.
No, it's amazing what you can find out on people.
Yeah, 100%. And these are all things that agents should be doing. Now, you might not be doing all of them because you don't want to get ridiculous and spread yourself thin and then not be good at anything. So, if you're getting this list and you're getting overwhelmed, you really should try to focus on maybe a handful of things. Would you think that's a good strategy?
Yeah, I think, I think it depends. You have to really look at who you're going after. Okay. And, is that a form of, solicitation I feel comfortable with? So somebody may feel more comfortable going after social media than postcards, things like that. Some people may, a good way to do it too is to door knock. Door knocking is a good way to, get business and introduce yourself to the neighbors and things like that. And I think that the other thing to do is, when you do an open house, make sure you make a big deal about that open house,
Mm-hmm.
to the neighbors, get it out way ahead of time, do a lot of social media on it ahead of time, things like that. It doesn't really help, saying I'm at 123 Main Street right now and I'll be here from 1 to 3. You
Mm-hmm.
got to blast that out way ahead of time. But I think if you pick 4 pillars, just focus and pick 4,
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to hit, everything at once. And I think the good thing at this time, because, really you can do anything you want at this time. You don't have to work. You could, if you're a realtor, you can do anything you want, right?
Yep.
But come March, come April, what
Yeah.
happens? Yeah, we've had bad storms in February. I mean, if you need that check, you got to be thinking about it now. So maybe what you should do is, I think one of the things that helps me a great deal is time blocking.
Mm.
It's like, because you have to think about it. It's your own business.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be accountable to anybody.
Yeah.
But the person you're hurting is really yourself. So time block. Right now, this is the time I'm going to, go after social media and see out of my sphere, who I can write cards to, that, something maybe a little bit different's been going on in their life. Your suggestion of the gifting in January, that's a great thing. Even calling your past sphere, things like that. But I think if you time block, I think that helps a lot. One thing I wish I did a better job at, if I had to start again, brand new,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't have these things when I first started. We didn't have CRM programs. Okay, so a good CRM program, you have one, Matt, I have one. Okay, we both invest in our own for our teams.
Mm.
I can text, so it keeps track of all the clients' information, email addresses, phone numbers, the address they sold, the address that they live at. What I would do this time of year too is I would go through that CRM program and make sure everybody I closed this year was organized. The
Mm-hmm.
month they closed, the year they closed, are they local? Are they out of state? Things like that. That's one thing, because that database is gold. And in 1998, they didn't have a CRM program. We had notebooks. You just kept flipping.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. So, I mean, you think about it, you can text from the CRM, email from the CRM, and call. And so
Yes.
it keeps track of everything. And you can put tasks in there, when to call them back and things like that. So that's one thing I would really be doing this year, is organizing my people. I would time block definitely a couple of times. And then what I would do too is I would also time block training. This is the time of year to train.
Yep. Definitely. Like continuing ed is nonstop for us. I
Right.
mean, right? I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like I'm in school every week. I have 2 to 3 hours of education every single week.
Right, exactly. We're doing one of our big things from my end of it right now is, we're organizing everything, our marketing plans, sellers guides, buyers guides. I mean, our curriculums, things like that. So we're going, into that in great depth. And so as the team leads, that's what we're doing, enabling our team to be successful through the year and give them what they need. So that's why this time of year, I think for them, it's really, really important to start, banging the phone, start lining up that pipeline for the spring.
Absolutely. And think about with New Year's approaching, this is the time where you can easily go into your CRM and start texting all your past clients. Say, hey Debbie, I hope you have a happy New Year in Boston. I hope you have a great 2024. So then Debbie knows that was specifically written to her. She lives in Boston. That's not some general, copy and paste that went to everybody at the same time. So we do that. We just did that at Thanksgiving. We just did that for Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. And now you do it for New Year's. You got 3 touch points for free, all sincere, simple, super easy, and it didn't cost you any money.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So if you do have a good CRM program, which I know you do and I do, that that's a huge tool, huge,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have before. And people in the agents should be utilizing all of that as much as possible.
Yeah, and if you don't have a big CRM and things like that, you can always consider you just pick up your phone. That's your CRM right now and start going in there and texting everybody you know. And you don't have to say you know anyone looking to buy or sell. That's the easiest way to get blocked from somebody.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right. And this is the easiest time of year to have a conversation. Just about, you don't have to feel like you're selling them anything, just checking in to see how they're doing. I know a lot of my clientele are getting a little bit older, so I know a couple of them I've got to check in with because they're not their spouses aren't doing that great, and I just want to see how they're doing and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, right,
Yeah, sincere statements and things like I had we had an issue with the hot water heater Sunday night, Christmas Eve, of course. So there was no hot water in the house. But I had emailed the plumber that I use, and he was able to get me on the schedule Tuesday, December 26th, and he got right in. So how easy is it to text a client, saying, "Hey, I hope you're doing well. By the way, I have this great plumber. He did some great work for me. If you ever need a plumber, here's his contact information. Hope you have a great start to the year." That's it. I didn't ask for anything.
right, exactly. Yeah, and you did that guy a favor because he did you one. That's
Ex-
great.
Exactly. Yeah. So, anytime you can and provide something without asking for anything, people love that. I mean, I roll my eyes when I get a text message and it's a solicitation,
Right,
even if I want that.
right. So they were saying like approximately 60% of the business is done in the spring market, and it comes on real quick.
Right.
And if you don't have people in the pipeline already, what's going to happen? You're going to miss half of it at least. You know,
Exactly. You realize you don't have any business, and then you start you're prospecting, but you're 60 to 90 days out.
right? And you think about it too. If it's a buyer, they probably already have an agent that they're working with because that agent's been on the phone working with them, way ahead of time. And if it's a seller, it could be somebody that you want to start getting ready now.
Oh
So
yeah. The sellers can't you can't get them ready early enough.
no, no. So that's why it's important to get on the phones now and start talking to people instead of waiting till like, March, April, things like that. And it's
Totally.
great year to
And
sell.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had mentioned seller's guide. What would you say to agents that say, I don't feel like making a seller's guide. It takes too long. I don't see the value. Maybe they're an individual agent and they feel like it eats up too much time.
That's why I think it's important to be on a team. I do. I just think like we're handling all that back end stuff that, we want them out selling. That's what they should be doing. And it really is a win-win. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
We're updating all that. And Matt, everything, real estate sounds like it never changes. It's always changing.
Hmm.
Our tactics change a little bit. Like it's totally different than it was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No.
totally different. Same thing with buyers guides. Look at what we've got coming across the country a little bit now, talking about that. And, in our buyer's guide, we're making a big deal about, why it's important to hire a buyer's agent. So, I mean, I think if you choose to be an individual, I think that that's great. That's something you want to do. But I think there's so many benefits to being on a team, especially a team. I think there's some sort of like fake teams where, it's just a bunch of people getting together that don't collaborate and help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you've got a team and, they're updating things to help make you successful. And also the team themselves, the agents, I mean, they have a lot of talent. So, they come up with ideas and we help implement those things. So that's what we're doing. We're updating everything. Like Christine Cleary is probably sick of seeing me, you know, she's probably, and Adam, but he's taking a break today. But they're probably sick of seeing me because we're just like pounding everything to get everything updated before the end of January. I've got a deadline in my head and I want it done, you know?
Yes, 100%. Those guides are huge, and if you don't have to write them, you get some team support. It's definitely a huge, huge benefit. And if you don't have those guides, in my opinion, you're falling behind as an agent. Because now, we're all going to listing appointments, and we're handing them all of this nice material, and you're coming in coming in cold. And it really, really puts you against the wall.
But I mean, but think about that. And that was another topic we talked about before. So Adam is right. But think about it. If you can't even get a guide together, how are you supposed to be able to service somebody to the best of your ability? It's hard if you're a
Hmm.
single agent. It's tough unless you've got a really great admin staff that, can work with you. But yeah, I like I like the team concept. So that's what we're doing. The agents are in touch with people. Now that's their job. Get everybody in the pipeline. And our job right now is, like the admin staff and myself is we're getting everything, guides, CMA, the process of the CMA together for them. We're putting together a new marketing video right now that's going to get shot on Friday.
Nice.
So we're ready to interview in person. Um, you know, we have some clientele. She wants to interview in person because she's older. We drive to her. She's 80 years old. She's not going to get on a Zoom.
Hmm.
So, but her two sons are in another state. So we have a system to Zoom with her and them and show them everything that we offer. And it's in writing for her and it's in an email bomb for them. So that's the stuff we're working on right now. But that if you're an agent, this is where you're going to shine. If you do the work now, you will make a lot of money this year. And I still think it's going to be a good year because I think you're going to see a lot of agents drop out. And I think if you start banging those phones, if that's what you want to do, you want to make some money this year and help a lot of people move, it starts now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a really good year. And thinking about the upcoming year, do you have a specific goal form that you use? Do you guys set goals? Like, how does that work?
So we have business plans. Each agent has a business plan. I'm going to be meeting with them. They've been working on them already. I'm going to be meeting with everybody the week of January 7th, and they're all kind of different, which is good. I really kind of like that the agents have different goals and they have different strengths and things like that. So we're gonna meet the week of January 7th, go over everything, and then what we meet too is we have meet with them once a quarter and go over their goals. We have everything now set up, and I know some people may not know what a bomb is, but we have everything set up on an individual bomb. It's of like what they sold last year, the year before, and where they are this year with their goals and things like that. So we are getting more on track behind the scenes to help the agents be more productive. That's my job right now. That's what I like to do.
And so these agents are physically typing or writing goals.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say to an agent that says, I have goals, but I don't write them down. I just have them.
I just think if you don't write your goals down, that you're going to lose track of things. That's why I do think, time blocking is important. I think it's important to like stop this time of year and really think about what you want to achieve next year. For me, it's different because I'm a team lead than the agents, but I think you have to have it written down. And then, and it's not just business goals. Okay, like what do you want to accomplish personally? Like why are you working so
Hmm.
hard? What do you want? What is it? And one of the agents the other last year said to me, I put a new kitchen in. I bought a new car. That's one was some of my goals that I wanted to achieve. And it's nice because you need that too. You need the personal goals on top of things. So yeah, but I think if you don't have them written down, I think you start losing track of what you really wanted. And I think that's what we're getting better and better and better every year at. You know,
Yeah.
I've gone from a notebook in 1998, but running by the seat of my pants like a crazy woman, now to be, Google Sheets, trackers, very, very, very organized behind the scenes with this, even with the CRM program. We know where every lead comes in,
Hmm.
how it came in, who it went to, how many phone calls are being made, things like that.
Yeah, no, tracking is huge. You definitely need it. And for goals, what I do with my goals is after I type them up, I cut them up and I tape them all over the iMac so that every day I'm looking at them. They're right in front of me. And it's some years you're like, oh, your stomach turns because you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit that. And then other years you're like, wow, I exceeded that, and that's really good. But any which way, it's good to have that pressure. And these are the way I do it is it's actionable. Like what I should be doing each day. Like you should be doing this.
Right.
Like you had talked about expireds. So if that was one of my goals, it's literally on a piece of paper taped to the screen. So I have
Mhm.
to keep looking at it, and I think that's important.
Yeah, and I do think it's good to have just about four pillars that you
True.
really want to be committed to and that you feel comfortable doing, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, because agents tend to have shiny object syndrome, right? Where we just like everything is going to fix, the issues that we may have, and you can get spread too thin.
Right. Oh, you see that squirrel.
Yeah. Well, Debbie, that was really good. I hope agents got some ideas here. And the biggest thing really is that there's no secrets in this business. Nobody has secret leads and secret listings. It's really the people that want to do the work. So, putting the
Absolutely.
work in is super important. So, yeah. So thanks for everyone joining us, and definitely subscribe. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And Debbie, if people want to reach you directly, what's the best number to reach you at?
It's 978-771-9909.
Okay, awesome. And you can always reach out to me, 978-273-0099. And it's a great time to switch brokerages as we're just starting January. So give us a call and we'll set something up.